And this is where business and finance stoicism becomes real, because my channel is about the application of stoicism to business and finance. Because in business, nobody cares about what philosophy you studied. They care about how you decide, how you react, how you lead under uncertainty. And so, now, let me say something that might ruffle some feathers. You cannot learn Stoicism by reading alone. You just can't. Because reading is useful, sure, but it's theory. But theory without practice is entertainment. It's just like you can't learn to swim by reading about swimming. You have to get in the water, you have to get in the pool, and you have to practice. And you have to practice under supervision so that you will not drown. And also, if you want to learn to ride a bike, you have to get on the bike. You can't just learn it by reading about how to ride a bike. You have to start practicing, and again, under supervision of someone who is there protecting you when you fall. And also is guarding you from your blind spots that by definition you cannot see because they are your blind spots. And that's why I believe in the coaching, and that's why I have this mission at the Stoic Coach. So this is very practical, and Stoicism is practical. And so it's also like, think about when you learn to lift weights at the gym. You don't do that by studying bodybuilding textbooks. You don't study a bodybuilding textbook and you grow your muscles. You have to go to the gym and do the reps. And it's not difficult, it's simple. It's simple what you have to do, but it's hard to do. That's why it's so hard for many people, because it requires commitment, it requires intention, and it requires also someone who is there to show you the right way to do the exercises and to make you execute when you don't feel like it. And that is again your coach, your personal trainer at the gym. And so this is for everything in life where you have to apply your knowledge to do something practical. Also when you have to learn to drive a car. You can't learn to drive without an instructor. Or if you want to fly an airplane, you can't fly an airplane just by reading a book. You have to get in the cockpit with a flight instructor and real hours in the cockpit. So that you practice. And you practice with someone who is there protecting you from your mistakes, because there can be deadly mistakes if you try to fly an airplane solo without first having practiced with an instructor close to you. And so, you see, you cannot learn Stoicism without practice, without feedback, and without guidance. And also without all the experiences, the adversities that life will offer you. Like said Seneca, the gods treat good men well by giving them the opportunities to practice their wisdom and their strength. Because those opportunities are the adversities. And you welcome those adversities because those are the feedback that life offers you in order to refine your judgment and to grow your character through them. And so no man is more unhappy than he who never faced adversities, because he's been denied the privilege of proving himself. And also Seneca said that a gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials. And again Seneca said that ignis aurum probat, the gold is tested in the fire. There's no other way for you to know if the gold is gold. You have to test it, and you test it in the fire. And so Seneca said that exactly like the gold is tested in the fire, good men are tested by adversities. What a miserable life would you have without adversities? Think about it. Those are what makes you refine yourself. polish yourself like a gem through the friction that life offers you. And so you have to go through your life with intention. Because also Marcus Aurelius said that your actions may be impeded, and your actions will be impeded. But there can be no impediment to our intentions and dispositions. That is what wrote Marcus Aurelius. Because your mind adapts and converts to its own purposes the obstacles to our acting. And so the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Because what stands in the way is your way. You have to go through that. Like a captain of a ship has to go through the storm to prove that he is a captain. Because another saying is that every man is a sailor when the sea is calm. Think about it. When the sea is calm, everyone could say, I'm a sailor. But the real seamanship is revealed when there is the storm, when the winds are unfavorable. And so that is where the sailor becomes a true sailor, becomes a captain, the captain of your life. And so you cannot prove yourself unless you will face adversities. And be sure life will give you many opportunities to prove yourself, because you will go through adversities. But what you call adversities are the world around you that is giving you back information. Because when you operate in a world that first you don't know, because you came to this existence without any instruction manual. So you test yourself. And imagine the first sailors in ancient, in the Bronze Age. They were going without knowing where they would arrive. They were going across land, across the sea. And so they were discovering something and they were expecting something. But what they met was not what they were expecting. And so it is the same for you. Because when you want to do something in your life, you expect an outcome, a result. And then you don't get the outcome that you were expecting. And so you call it a failure. But actually that's feedback. And then you are confronted with something that forces you to grow your character. And you call it an adversity. Those are something you should be grateful for, because they're giving you feedback. It's like a cybernetic process of, if you know about cybernetics, is about receiving feedback from the environment. And so it's a loop of command and control. So you take action, you see the outcome of that action. If you think about a ballistic missile is ballistic, so it's shot and then it goes where it ends. But a cybernetic missile, it keeps changing its trajectory until it gets the target. And this is the Terminator mindset, because a cyborg, cybernetics, and this applies to life, it applies to nature. In cybernetics, there is this loop of command and control where you keep changing your trajectory until you achieve your target. And so it's impossible for you not to achieve your target, whatever it is, even if you want to just make money. And so we use that in business and finance, for example. Because if you understand how nature works, because you understand the true Stoicism, then you can correct your trajectory by receiving the feedback through the outcomes that you keep iterating, because it's an iterating process, and through this loop that starts with you planning your next move, then taking action. You have to take action. You only acquire that next step through action. Action comes first. Because if you wait for the perfect moment, it will never arrive. You will never have all the information you need. Because you get the information, you acquire the information through action. So first you plan, and then you take action, and then you monitor the outcomes, and be sure they will not be what you would expect. So they're not. You don't call it failure. Don't call it adversities. Don't call it for what they are. They are data. They are feedback. You want them in business, in finance. People pay for feedback. If you want to make a marketing campaign, especially online, all those dashboards, when you do a split testing, an A/B testing in marketing campaigns, for example, you already know that most of the outcomes will be not what you would expect. If you are a venture capitalist and you invest in 10 companies, you already know that 9 of those 10 will fail miserably. But one of them, the unicorn, will pay for all the others. So it's part of the business model. So this is the business model of life. So again, you plan, then you do, then you monitor the outcomes, and then you adjust using the information that now you have, that you wouldn't have had if you didn't take action in the first place. So you plan and do, then you monitor, then you adjust, and with those new information, you plan again. And now you take action again. And now again you monitor. And now you adjust again. And you keep refining this model until it is so powerful and so effective that there is nothing that you cannot achieve.
Look, you want me to fix the part of you that makes money, but it is attached to the rest, so this is going to take a little while.
Everyone needs a coach.
Eric has this management coach. Also coaches Steve Jobs.
That's a coach.
Yeah, definitely a coach.
We